because in choice he is so oft beguiled.
Swell stuff that verse, thine own.
Say'st not so. They are the words of Helena.
Helena, dost I know her?
Thou shouldest. 'Twas she who had a midsummer night's dream. She is one of Shakespeare's ladies.
Oh, the bard, Willie Shakespeare, didst have so many girlfriends. Why, 'tis next to impossible to keep them all in mind.
Aye, the list is long and celebrated, though 'tis undenied that some are in more popular favor than others. Dost thou know the famous somnambulist, Lady Macbeth?
I've heard of her. 'Tis said that she certainly gets about in her sleep.
'Tis her troubled conscience that makes her wander so. She is a bloody creature, but she is held in high esteem as one of Shakespeare's ladies.
It's true.
Then there is the fair Rosalind.
Oh, an over-sentimental and arch female given to the wearing of male attire.
The matter of attire is as you liked it. Dost thou know the story of Hermine and Perdita?
Aye, 'tis rather a dreary winter's tale, lacking the gusto of my fiery romance, Petruchio. Hast thou ever wondered what might happen if the two merry wives of Windsor got together with the two gentlemen of Verona?
I fear me 'twould be a comedy of errors.
Okay, but just between us girls, 'tis whispered about in the most exclusive circles that our friend Beatrice hath made a gentleman of Padua a Benedict. A choice bit of gossip.
Thou shouldest not repeat such idle chatter, Catherine. You make a much ado about nothing.
And who, pray tell, loved a story of intrigue better than our own Mr. Shakespeare? Does he not create tempest from the affair of Caliban and Ariel? Or hast thou heard of Desdemona and her handkerchief? Or even the sorry plight of poor Ophelia?
Aye, poor Ophelia, jilted by Hamlet the melancholy Dane. Truly a case of love's labor lost.
Sour-faced and gloomy man, that Hamlet, given to soliloquies and filled with quotations. Fancy having to listen to those bromides.
Aye, no wonder poor Ophelia has gone mad.
Mad? Puh! Thou makest an understatement. She's as nutty as a Yuletide fruitcake.
But soft, she is nigh. Be not harsh with her, but humor her and cajole her.
Here she comes, the lady with bats in her belfry.
Where am I? Where am I? Canst any tell me?
Thou art in Juliet's garden, in Verona.
Aye, Juliet's garden. And this is the fair Juliet.
Gazooks, no, I'm Catherine, beloved of Petruchio. I have heard of thee, a woman of boldness and tirades. What sayest thou?
Be not afraid, my child. Her bark is worse than her bite.
Oh, a quotation. It reminds me of my Hamlet. Alas, poor Hamlet, I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest.
Funny as a crutch.
Of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. For Hamlet in the trifling and of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy of life, the violet in the youth of primy nature, forward not permanent, sweet not lasting, the perfume and suppliants of a minute, no more.
Poor Ophelia.
Nuts, I say.
Hast thou heard of Romeo and Juliet? 'Tis said they are in the throes of romance.
Aye, 'tis known to everyone, save the Montagues and Capulets.
I have come to warn her of the pitfalls of love. She must not suffer as I have. With 2 greedy tears she must not list her song or lose her heart. Oh, had I but listened to my brother Laertes, ere 'twas too late.
'Tis said that Romeo is a gay young blade full of high spirits and joy of living. His father is, well, alive. Therefore, he won't have his father's ghost get him down as well your Hamlet did.
Aye, his father's ghost. Thou didst upset my Hamlet to make him do his mother dirt. 'Twas all a sorry mess. And I have sworn that Juliet shall not thus suffer. Juliet! Juliet! Who calls Juliet?
Juliet's gone amiss.
She's coming under full steam. Something must have happened.
Juliet! Juliet! Oh, wherefore art thou?
Portia, Catherine, Ophelia, what bringest thou to Juliet's garden?
We have journeyed hence to offer Juliet advice in the art of love.
Methinks 'tis a waste of time. Experience is, well, the best teacher.
Another quotation. Didst my Hamlet say that?
Canst not prove it by me, girlfriend.
Juliet needs must profit by the experience of others, and my experience with Othello.
What happened? 'Tis that tall, dark, and handsome step out on me.
Nay, nay, 'twas this unwarrantable jealousy, and alas the day, I never gave him cause.
But jealous souls will not be answered so. They are not ever jealous for the cause, but jealous for they are jealous. 'Tis a monster begot upon itself, born upon itself.
So says my good friend Amelia. But that if heaven could have kept that monster from Othello's mind. 'Tis a soul-searing, heart-breaking thing, this jealousy. I must ascertain from Juliet if Romeo's inclined thus, and if it be so, I must caution her near wed with him.
Aye, for love's but a vain and doubtful good. A shining gloss that fadeth suddenly. A flower that dies when first it begins to bud. A broken glass that's broken pleasantly.
All right, let's have done with all this philosophizing and call the young maid Juliet herself and give her the works. Juliet!
Juliet bowed.
Juliet!
Who calls?
Get thee hence and see.
Romeo, Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn by my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
She's got it bad.
She's wandering in the realms of romantic fancy.
'Tis a shame to disturb her ecstatic musings.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
The moon? Why, 'tis broad daylight. She's raving. Snap her out of it, Portia.
Juliet, come out of thy trance. We should speak with thee. Wherever. Thou art amongst friends, good friends. We come to bring thee counsel.
See, I have brought thee flowers. Sweets to the sweet.
There's rosemary
That's for romance. Pray, my sweet, remember.
and pansies.
That's for thoughts. I would give thee some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end.
Sweet Ophelia, I thank thee for thy gifts. Welcome, ladies, thrice welcome. But tell me, why am I so honored by your presence? We have heard that thou art enamored of the young Romeo. Is it true? I, Romeo, the god of my idolatry, my true love's passion.
And she's off again.
But he is a Montague, while thou art.
'Tis but his name that is his enemy. What's in a name? By which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection on which he owes. But thou wooest tragedy when thou disregard parental objection. Come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in his sight. I see thou art determined. So be it. So from the ladies assembled here, thou shalt learn the pitfalls to avoid on the pathway of love. Pitfalls? What meanest thou?
In other words, we're here to give you the lowdown on men.
For all of us have had experience and plenty.
Thou must not suffer, Juliet, my sweet.
Love does not bring suffering.
So thinkest thou now, but wait. Is your young Romeo inclined toward jealousy?
Why should my Romeo be jealous? Jealousy must be born of some reason.
Thou knowest not what thou sayest. Jealousy may conjecture, without reason. Nor is there any reasoning within jealousy. I know whereof I speak. My Othello smothers me with his jealous love.
Because of your handkerchief?
Thou knowest?
Aye. 'Tis known far and wide the incident of Desdemona and her pocket linen.
'Twas not of linen, but of silk. That handkerchief did an Egyptian to Othello's mother give. She was a charmer, and could almost read the thoughts of people. She told Othello's mother while she kept it, 'twould make her amiable. But if she lost it, or were to make a gift of it, such perdition as nothing else can match.
And yet thou gavest that handkerchief to Cassio?
I did not give it to Cassio. I lost the handkerchief. Maybe I shouldn't be so careful.
Thou shouldst be so careless with thy belongings.
And Cassio found the handkerchief?
It's all a foul plot by that arch villain Iago. He who thought it next.
But thou canst not deny that thou hadst slight yen for this Cassio.
She's leaving.
Dost thou not prefer him to the Moor?
Well, perhaps. But there was no reason for Othello acting up the way that he did.
Aye, there was a good and sufficient reason. Thou wert false to Othello.
Nay, nay, thou canst not sully my good name.
Good name in a man or woman is the immediate jewel of their souls.
Aye, he who steals my purse steals trash, but he that flinches from me my good name robs me with naught enriches him, but makes me poor indeed. So if thy young Romeo shows the slightest signs of jealousy, marry him not.
Aye, a handkerchief can cause many a hard blow.
I have no Cassio with whom to share my thoughts of Romeo. And moreover, I shall always see my handkerchief falls not into the wrong hands.
There's something about you being smothered in bed by love.
Yeah, I thank thee, Desdemona, for thy great interest in me, but I profit nothing from thy experience with the Moor. And I'm certain Romeo will attempt not to smother me in my bedchamber, unless it be with his overpowering love of me.
Love is merely a madness, and I tell you, deserves as well a dark house and a whip as madmen do.
And the reason why they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too.
Yet I propose to cure it by giving thee counsel.
And prithee tell me, what is your counsel? Speak. I am well aware that the course of true love never runs smooth, and that youth is as wild as a hare to skip over the meshes of good counsel.
Thou art angry. Mark ye well, a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree.
I am listening, Portia. Proceed with counsel.
Art thou sure that thou lovest Romeo?
What meanest thou?
Hast thou not had any other suitors?
None. Romeo is my first and only love.
Then how can thou be sure of thy love for him? There is none by which thou canst make comparison.
Dost thou have to have an entire bouquet of flowers to understand the beauty of one rose?
Verily, thou sayest a mouthful, Juliet.
Thou hast had a whole flock of boyfriends. The Neapolitan prince, the County Palatine, French lord, Monsieur Lafond, Falcon Bridge, the young Baron of England, his neighbor, the Duke of Saxony's nephew, and others.
Thou hast been doing all right for yourself, Portia.
They are fortune hunters, the whole kit and caboodle of them.
Fortune hunters.
Aye, they are after your Mazuma.
Mazuma?
I
very wealthy woman, Portia. So be careful, or they'll take you for every dime of it.
Thou needst not concern thyself, Juliet. I look not with favor on any one of them.
But there is one on thou lookst with extreme favor.
Meanest thou whom?
A Venetian, a scholar, and a soldier, who came hither in the company of Marquis of Montefra, young Bassanio.
Thou knowest of young Bassanio.
Aye, full well. Thou thinkest that Bassanio is different from the rest.
Well, he certainly got what it takes.
Thou meanest that thou hast got what it takes, and that is the long green.
Meanest that Bassanio's after my wealth?
You said it, Portia, my friend, so go easy. He stumbles who runs fast. And above all, to thine own self be true.
It seems to me, Portia, that instead of you giving Juliet advice, you wound up getting the lowdown yourself.
Aye, and I don't like it. And dost thou follow thine own instructions in affairs of the heart? 'Tis said 'tis a good divine that follows his own instructions.
I am in no such dilemma in which thou findest thyself. I need not a casket seen as thou dost in Merchant of Venice to help me through a state of indecision. For there is but one man for me, and he is my Romeo.
Be warned, Juliet, that he does not play thee false.
I have no fear. The good Friar Lawrence will wed us in due time.
What comes after that, Juliet? What does fate hold in store for thee?
I think not of the future. I live for today.
But thou must think of the future. See what love has done to me.
But Hamlet did love me once.
Aye, with all his heart.
What made him change his mind?
I know it's not. He told me to go to a nunnery, and quickly too.
Didst thou go?
No, I went mad instead.
Well, it was the wiser choice, says I.
Like sweet bells jingled out of tune and harsh. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I've seen, to see what I see.
What dost thou see?
Tragic indeed for Romeo and Juliet.
Indeed, sweet Ophelia, thou art mad. There exists not one in Romeo's family, such as Queen Gertrude, Hamlet's mother. Nor does he frequent graveyards, seeking companionship in poor Yorick's skull.
But there still exists the feud between the Montagues and the Capulets.
So what?
It can cause thee great sorrow, and don't say we didn't tip you off.
Once the good Friar Lawrence closes our hands with holy words, what can our families do about it? Give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him up into little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all of the world will be in love with the night.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune,
Or to take arms against obscene troubles, and by opposing, end them.
Thou certainly has a mind of thine own, Juliet.
Aye, just as thou hadst before Petruchio tamed thee.
Oh, thou knowest about?
The taming of the shrew? Who doesn't?
Well, a little word of advice, Juliet. Never let Romeo get too bossy.
There's no need for thy warning, Kate.
Kate?
For that's your name, I hear.
Well, something hard of hearing. They call me Catherine, that do talk of me.
You lie, in faith, for you are called plain Kate, and bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. Good reason hath Petruchio for taming you, you wasp.
If I be waspish, best beware of my stain. I pack a powerful sock.
Thou wouldst not sock me as thou hast, Petruchio, for he has removed thy sting.
Thou art headstrong and determined.
Nay, I have but the courage of my convictions, but I am sweet-tempered and mild, and in thou case, if thou hadn't been toned down, thou wouldst have remained an old maid, and thy sister Bianca would have remained unwed, for thy father Baptista had to get you off his hands before Bianca could wed.
How dare you?
'Tis the bitter truth I speak. 'Tis a well-known fact among all of Wed Shakespeare's followers that when thou is hot on the collar, as thou art at present, 'tis but a feeble echo of thy former self. So unknit that threatening, unkind brow, and dart not scornful glances from those eyes. Exact frost bites the mead, and is no sense is amiable.
You're telling me in my own words. Go on.
A woman moved is like a fountain troubled, deep, ill-seeming, thick, bereft of beauty, and none so dry or thirsty will ever deign to sip or touch one drop of it.
Well, thy husband is thy lord, thy life, thy keeper, thy head, and thy sovereign. I'm so ashamed that women are so simple to offer war when they should seek for rule, supremacy, and sway, when they are bound to serve, love, and obey.
Truly, Bertuccio has tamed a curse true.
'Tis a wonder she was tamed so.
Well, you don't know Petruchio as I do. What a man.
What is that strange sound that falls upon my ears?
Perchance 'tis my Hamlet come back for me.
Not a chance, Feely. That guy's gone forever.
Some strange female approaches, looking like the siren of the movies.
Is that Angelina Jolie?
Does thou not know who she is?
Nay.
'Tis Cleopatra, the serpent of the Nile.
Hi, Julie.
Welcome, Cleopatra.
Mwah, mwah.
I don't believe you've met my friends.
Can't say as I do.
This is Ophelia.
Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. All in the morning betime. And I am at your window to be your Valentine. Slightly scurry, I take it.
Aye, she was jilted by Hamlet.
I've gone nuts over many a man. Seems to me like I've heard of your Hamlet. Kind of a gloomy goss, wasn't he? They call him the melancholy Dane. Couldn't you just snap him out of it? You know, not. Too bad I never met him. I would have woken him up. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Methinks the lady doth protest too much. Who's this?
This is Catherine, the shrew, whom the man Petruchio tamed.
I haven't been tamed yet, but there's a first time for everything. So, tell me, Kate, what's it like to have the man wear the pants?
Very satisfying.
Maybe I should look up your Petruchio then.
You keep away from my man, you siren.
Careful, Catherine. The jealousy not get the better of thee. Remember, ruined my own romance.
Oh, so you had a jealous guy?
Aye, my Othello.
Fellow. No, I don't think he's been on my list, but then again, I've never been good at names, only faces. What does he look like?
Tall, dark,
Handsome.
Oh, I couldn't possibly tell by that. I've had so many of that kind.
and this is Portia,
Oh, you look like a lawyer.
a doctor of laws.
Oh, I may need you in my business then, because my Antony's got himself married, and I have the good notion to sue him for breach of promise.
After I'm through with Shylock, look me up, and we'll talk it over.
I'll do that little thing. Now, Julie, what's all this gossip I hear about you?
I know not what thou meanest.
You know darn wellest what I meanest. They say you have a boyfriend and your romance is sizzling.
Romeo.
Is that his name?
Aye, it's such a sweet name.
Sounds full of romance and things. Now, what does he look like? Deal not in generalities, but go into detail.
He has a lean cheek, blue eyes. He's tall, slender, graceful, an unquestionable spirit.
Where'd you ever meet such a man?
Here in Verona.
I must come here more often. But aren't you getting a little too young to be out with a guy like that?
Age is not marked by calendar years, but by wisdom.
Well, then I'm much wiser than you, because I've had a lot more experience. So I thought I'd bow down here and give you the benefit of it. I can tell you plenty about men.
If thou art so wise, how comest thou to slew the gorgeous Antony?
I lost him to a widow, and a widow has her ways. But I'll get him back.
Sounds like quite a man.
Quite a man, says you. Aye, his face was as the sun. Therein struck the sun and moon, and oh, lighted earth. His legs bestrid the ocean, his rear arm crested around the world, his voice tuned as all the prophetic spheres.
And thou didst allow such a man to slip away from you?
Aye.
Your technique must be faulty, Cleo.
I am the serpent of the Nile. Men quake and quail before me.
Perhaps that's their whole trouble.
I don't get you.
Men like to feel that they are the superior of women, that they are the master sex. Thou needst a Petruchio to tame thee.
And how?
But I am the queen of Egypt.
And thou wouldst never let Antony forget it. While this Octavia probably made him feel that he was in every way her superior.
And you got something there.
I, in truth, I have. So, next time an Antony comes into thy life, forget that thou art a queen. And remember that thou art first a woman. Oh, and another thing, stop being a siren. Men do not like women with playing around qualities.
Then you've never cast a roving eye at anyone but your Romeo?
Never. Romeo is my first, last, and only love. I've made a thorough study on the art of love, and I am certain that the romance of Romeo and Juliet will go down in history as the most perfect romance of all time.
What about the ending?
We shall end our romance together.
Will it be a tragic end?
Some may think it so, but to us, it will be an ideal culmination.
Well, I came all the way from Egypt to give you lessons in love, and I ended up getting a few myself.
Thou cannot tell the child Juliet anything. We all have found that out.
Well, it's been a charming afternoon, and all's well that ends well. When will we six meet again?
Thunder, lightning, nor rain.
When the hurly-burly's done?
When the battle's lost or won?
If our Shakespeare we've offended, think but this, and all is mended.
That you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear.
Scholars do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend.
All the liberties that we took in Master Willie Shakespeare's book.
For really we have studied hard all the phrases of the bard.
This our joke, though indiscreet, is really what might happen should
Shakespeare's ladies meet.